fam. Welcome back. We are season 2, episode 12. This is our final election series segment. Okay, so all the votes are in. James Guillory is back with us. He was a Democratic candidate for Texas State Representative for District 131. So welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
Thanks for having me again.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys followed the election, but all the votes are in. So Mr. Guillory here came in a very close second. He ran a very good race for a first-time contender, but the incumbent that was currently in office did win the election. The numbers were 54%, 32%. You were really, really close behind her, and then the other candidate was around right at 14% of the votes.
Okay.
So you did well. You did well.
I'm
you should be proud.
Happy and proud of what we were able to accomplish by getting out our message.
Yes.
Ultimately, the turnout was nothing like anyone expected. I think this was like less than half, or slightly over half of what turned out in 2020. So extremely surprising, the turnout, and definitely I anticipated that our message would resonate. It would ignite within the citizens and the constituents in that community the change that we needed and
right.
The energy that I could bring to it with their voice and with their concerns. But it did not turn out that way. So we just have to step back, analyze what we did well, what we need to do better, retool where we need to, and brush it off and get ready for 2024.
Okay, so that's the strategy.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, we're going to talk a lot about those feelings and what the impacts are from coming in second place, what the impacts are for not winning. We're going to talk about all of that, but I know you're fresh off of leaving the headquarters, and I know the vibes are, some people may be somber at headquarters, some may be happy and still enthused, but if you had 3 words right now, whether they're adjectives, whether it's a three-word phrase, how do you feel right now? 3 words only, though. You got 3 words to tell us, how do you feel about today's outcome?
Failure is not final.
I love that.
Or how about isn't final? So I keep it with 3. Failure isn't final.
Isn't final.
All right? Yeah.
Yes.
Failure isn't final. It is, listen, I look back at my life, and I'm so thankful of, just the ambitious things that I have sought to attain and achieve. And I have fallen short multiple times in multiple areas, but I have always fought hard to continue on until I achieve what I set out to achieve. So, falling short is not new to me. Stepping back and recognizing where I can do better, it's not new to me. So those are some things that I was able to, pray about this. Thank God for the opportunity and the ability and skill set that He's provided me with in order to do what I've been able to do. And now how are we going to, like I say, retool, analyze where we can do better, and, reach out to those constituents who didn't vote for us. Find out what was the message that we did not get across, what was the specific topic that we may not have addressed that didn't allow us to earn their vote this time.
Correct.
And how can we earn it next time?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really good. Do you think there were, that you know of, were there any issues at the polls, or you feel like not enough people turned out? We talked about that, right? There was a smaller turnout this year as compared to the last election.
Yes.
So in those numbers, do you know what the age makeup was? Was it more of the older 50 plus that came out? I know there's a deficit in the younger generation coming out to vote. Is that correct? Do you have any of those numbers? Ballpark?
No, we haven't gotten those details. I can just really go on past history when we analyze past elections, 2020 and prior. I think we went back to 2014 or something like that. So we noticed then that 60-65 age group was really putting in about 70 to 75% of the votes in my district 131 in that southwest part of Houston. Mm-hmm. So definitely the senior population definitely rules the vote. I mean, in all honesty, and that's not to say that's a bad thing at all. I really felt that we could energize not only those seniors to, I want you to, I want to address your concerns, and I want to care about and show you that I can work to address those things that concern you. But I also want you seniors to care about those younger adults, that workforce that exists right now, and support me in making sure that we make sure that our students are prepared to be the next workforce, that our workforce is able to obtain and achieve all the things they need, whether it's access to credit, access to banking, access to job training, access to a better education for their children so they stop moving out of our community. Mm-hmm. So I still believe in my heart, even after we have come to the point where we did not win, those points that I have addressed, they're foundational, and I believe in them. Yeah. If there's some things we need to add to it, then let's address that. But I did not run for office to change in order to be a politician. Mm-hmm. I'm running for office in order to address some things that need to be addressed for the benefit of my community. Okay. And it's going to take the community to decide how important are those things to our community, mm-hmm. and who's the right person to address those things. Okay. But I feel wholeheartedly very good about our points, our goals, our platform. Right. But we're going to have to, once again, do some work. And I'm going to knock on the doors of those individuals who didn't vote for me. Okay. I want to know what we can do better. Okay. I want to earn their vote. Okay. I'm not finished.
I want to talk to you a little bit more in detail about that very thing. Okay. But for those of you that just joined, so we have James Guillory here. As you guys know, he was running for Texas State Representative for the Democratic Party for District 131. So we just got his feelings on the election right now. He came in a very close second. The current incumbent did win the election, but very close second, okay? So now that we've got his initial feelings, we're going to peel away some layers and talk a little bit more about what we're going to do, what he is going to do, how we're going to help, what's required, and what the impacts are for him not winning this particular election, but the current incumbent remaining in office. So we want to take this time now before we start digging pretty deep and taking a deep dive. And we would like to thank Brown Brooks Media. Brown Brooks Media is the sponsor of our show today, and they are a creative, directing, and producing organization. So if you have any videos, you have TV shows that you want to get produced, we have creative writers, directors to direct these videos and TV shows, as well as producers as far as getting your show out there, getting it bought, getting it sold, getting it picked up. So if you need any help on that, you want to solicit that service, just shoot me a DM, and I'll be able to get you in contact with the appropriate people, and we can get your projects taken to the next level. Okay? So thanks again, Brown Brooks Media. Okay, so let's continue talking. You were a first-time candidate running against a 27-year incumbent. So going in, how did you feel? How did you feel when you were in the process of running? And how do you feel now in relationship to the current incumbent, who's been in office for 27 years?
Yes, Dr. Alma Allen, mm-hmm. Who's been in that 27 years. Let me break it down for you. It's, I believe, 17 years as a state legislator that she has served for District 131. And prior to that, I believe it's about 10 years on the State Board of Education. Okay. So those are both political positions, statewide position. State level positions. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, she has served our community. I've said it over and over again. I appreciate her service, a long time of service, But as I pointed out, I got into this because I saw many things not being accomplished that needed to be worked on for the benefit of our community and our city and our state. So, but going to your other question, how I felt going in, how I feel now, I gotta say, in all honesty, I had a lot of definitely encouragement and support going in from a lot of people.
Great.
I had, let me say to my team, to the people who literally helped me. I'm talking this started with myself and my daughter Madison Guillory.
Wow.
I'm telling you, in the beginning, we really didn't know exactly where to start, who to talk to. You can say we were just picking at, what are the pieces that we anticipate or we think are the best places to go first to really just get ourselves grounded.
Right.
But the great thing about it is, as we got out there and we talked to other existing incumbent politicians, as we got out there and talked to organization leadership of different organizations throughout our city and at our state capitol, we start, from every different area, you found one or two or three people that just kind of latched on and say, I like your platform. I like what you stand for. I like the way you're presenting yourself. We need to make sure we do that more in our community, so on and so forth. So before you know it, 2 became 10. 10 became 15 and 20.
Right.
Before you know it, we had a wonderful, I'll give it to my phone banking team.
Okay.
And let me give a shout out to Greater Grace Church,
yes.
who I believe we probably had about 8 or 10 of their members that served on our phone banking team, and they were fantastic. I literally would go by there as often as I could during the week just to shake their hands, thank them for what they're doing. I love walking into our headquarters where they were working at, and they're ringing this bell every time a voter would tell them, yes, I'm going to vote for James Guillory. I go there just to sit in that a little while and just enjoy that and listen to some of the questions that the voters had about James, because they didn't know who James was.
Right.
I've never been out there. They wanted to know some things about me, so I had to go and help answer some of those questions. So anyway, I was truly energized by that. The fact that it started with nothing, with me, my daughter. We built up on that. We had a great team. I have great team members and staff that we built up. So, and great donors and supporters. All that just came in over a 4-month period of time.
Right.
I mean, we did it. So, and now at this time, I'm honestly saying that I'm just saying, you know what? I always knew that there was a possibility that I could lose. I always knew going in, this is somebody who's been in political office for 27 years.
Yes.
What are you going to do and say in order to win an election against someone who's been in the political office for 27 years?
Yeah.
And once again, I prayed about it. I took quite a bit of time, probably a good 3 months before I even launched this. I would say even thinking about it for 6 months prior, but 3 months just putting it all down on paper, getting it all set up, and finally saying, okay, now it's ready to go out.
Right. Yeah.
And I felt good every time I would drive through the community and through the city, through my district, and see my signs out and read those messages and read those 12 points that's on that board. And I was like, you know what? I just really felt good about it. So at this time, I have no regrets. I truly have no regrets. There are definitely some challenges for non-incumbent, and I'm sure we'll talk about that.
Yes.
But I'm not here to jump on and right now turn around and fix today everything I like to see fixed.
Right.
I just want to now just step back, take a breather, and say, you know what? What's going to be our next step? How are we going to retool? Where do we go next? And I'm going to take a little time off too, because I still have my company to run. I still have my company to run. Spend a little time with my wife, who is extremely supportive. And we're going to get ready to do this again and win this. So
that's amazing. You guys have definitely earned a vacation, even if it's a work vacation. I know you said I'm taking my laptop and I'll be working, but
it's
even
tough.
if it's a work vacation, just get away. Get away and exhale. Woosah, all right?
Woosah.
So you mentioned what you are a first-time runner, so you're non-incumbent, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So what are, in your mind, positives and negatives, and how do you feel about, and I know you said you felt initially, you did your homework,
Mm-hmm.
you mapped out a plan, you went through the journey, you gave it your all, but for ones that are non-incumbents, first-time running, what advice do you have for them? You've been there, you've done that. So what advice do you have for them? Like, what would you differently? What worked and what didn't work?
Yeah. One, I believe as a non-incumbent,
Okay.
I believe starting 3 or 4 months prior to even the election cycles. Really, the election cycle, I would say, the campaigning cycle probably didn't start really until, first of the year, January.
Okay.
And then the election is probably 45 days after that.
It is.
Right?
Correct.
So I probably would have, if I was talking to James again today, right?
James talking to James.
Or anyone who desires to take this leap of faith. I would really say, 9 months to even a year.
Okay.
Because, and this is for someone who isn't even involved in the political different organizations that exist. I may be a member of NAACP or a few other organizations, but there are some literally political organizations out there that have a lot of influence.
Okay.
And when the individual citizen is not doing their homework, not doing their research, they're taking the information from those organizations and saying, okay, they did it, I'll use their information. And that's unfortunately why we see a number of our incumbent politicians continuously remaining in office. And once again, it's not a bad thing, because I don't mind continuously having an elected official who can earn the right to continue in that position. But I believe it also is hindering aspiring young men or women to get into this office. And unfortunately, they got to be ready to work within the system that exists.
Yeah.
And within this system that exists, the things that you find that you're not, let's just say you find that may be unfair,
right,
or not to your liking, that can be improved upon.
Yeah.
You got to get to work and get inside and work with the system to make the system better.
Right. Right.
So I would just say, once again, be ready to start earlier than normal. Don't think 3 to 6 months is enough. And I'm already saying this to myself. I am tooling up my mind and getting ready to say, well, we're going to do this again, but we're going to start a lot earlier.
Right.
And we're going to have to talk to a lot more people, probably one-on-one.
Yeah.
That's why we need to start early, so we have that time to talk to them one-on-one.
And make sure you're part of all of those political organizations that are in a position to benefit your candidacy, right?
And I won't say you got to be a part of every one of them. I think for them to have the time to get to know you.
Yeah.
Because when I got into it, all I was doing was having interviews for endorsement meetings.
Okay.
Well, that's just an endorsement meeting. That was an opportunity for me to know exactly who they normally endorse, what's that normal criteria, what's the real foundation of that organization, and who's really making the decisions on the endorsements.
Right.
It was some eye-opening things that I saw and experienced there that just made me say, I wish I would have known that. I would have gone about that a little differently.
Right.
Or I probably wouldn't have concerned myself with some of them so much, just because of the way they're structured. You almost see it's not really tooled for that incumbent. For that non-incumbent, to even have an opportunity.
Right.
To really excel over that incumbent. But I'll give them all the respect. I went to all those interviews, filled out all those questionnaires, and I just I think there's some efficiency that can be built through this whole system.
Okay,
So,
I agree. Yeah.
So all those are some things that I hope to address as I get to know them, respectfully find a way so that the system is just fair for everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I had one question that came in, and I may throw in a couple that came in on my my website and my Instagram account.
Okay.
Just a few questions that a couple of people had.
Okay.
The first one here is, and I'll only probably do 2 or 3 depending on our time, but the first one is, do you think it's an issue with people auto voting for the current incumbent because they haven't done their due diligence on the candidates that are running? So they go to the polls, they want to vote, but they're saying, oh, I'm not quite sure about James, I'm not quite sure about this Crystal person, I don't know who Bob is.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go ahead and vote for the current person that's in office right now and just keep it moving down the list. Do you think that is an issue? And if so, how do we address that issue to get people to not just vote for what's familiar?
Right. Well, yeah, I think there are many who say let's go with that safe bet if we don't know them. Personally, me, and this is just me, and not everyone has to feel this way. You know, if I don't know the person, or if I haven't gotten their information to really assess what they're about, what their platform is about, I don't vote. I don't vote for them. I will skip that person. That's just me.
Yeah.
One of the things that I saw, you know, and I've never noticed it when I go in to vote at the polling location near my home, but I went to some very busy polling locations that were just, I mean, there were a lot of people out there, a lot of candidates, had poll workers there, and what I noticed this time is there were political organizations, Black, Latino, other. There were political organizations, and they would have these printed cards to say, hey, of these 50 candidates, we're backing this one, so this is who you should vote for. And they were handing those cards out. And I looked at that and I said, now, once again, that voter who really hadn't really had time to do their homework on that particular candidate, and they probably have heard of that organization and they feel that organization is reputable. It has the name African American in it, or Tejano or Latino in it. They feel they can, I guess, feel comfortable that they've made a good decision, and at least had an opportunity to do the research on that person to give them their backing. So anyway, I saw multiple groups hand those cards out. And that was a eye-opener to me of the influence that those organizations have, and the fact that if you are an individual who hasn't done your own research on these individuals, then you're just kind of following along with that card, possibly.
Were they inside or outside?
No, outside. I mean, they were out.
That's legal? I mean, you know, it sounds like coercing to me, but I guess. I don't know.
I guess it's legal.
Obviously.
So you know, where we had poll workers at each one of these polling locations, there would also be organizations out there handing out those cards as well. So you know, everybody has a right, I believe, to hand out whatever information they choose outside. I think you gotta have to be like 100 feet away from the door of the polling location, but you have a right to hand out whatever you choose. So we have to be once again selective in what information we take, and I would say get to know the candidates, and I would say as the candidates, make sure you get to know your constituents and your voters. So it's just as much our responsibility as it is the voter to make sure our message is getting out there and we earn their vote.
Getting to the masses.
Okay.
So they're not just voting comfortably, but voting with an educated, conscious decision.
That's right.
Yeah? Okay.
I hope so.
I have a question here also. How can young adults and non-politicians, and this is kind of something that's near and dear to you, how can young adults and non-politicians like teachers, police officers, nurses, and ones with parallel type careers get a chance to serve their community in political office and give their ideas, their advice, their energy, their input. How can we make that happen so that they can serve their community as well and contribute?
Well, let me say I believe that it can very well start right now with the existing incumbent politicians. They can invite those men and women who desire to be a part of this. They have different committees and advisory boards. They have offices in Austin. They have offices in Houston. Some of them have multiple offices. We have congressmen and women that have multiple offices. Being able to invite those inspiring young men and women and allow them to help you as the politician serve the community. You know, this was actually the foundation of what I talked about all the time is I look forward to getting this opportunity to serve in this position. And I told everybody, I need your help.
Right.
I know those 12 items that was on my platform and the other ones that couldn't fit on the sheet, I can't do it alone.
Correct.
Making the changes that I'm talking about changing are so foundational, just with us as human beings, with our culture, with our education system. Those things can't be done by one politician.
Right.
It just can't be done.
Impossible.
So I would say first to the existing politicians is open your office, open your arms, open your database of all the knowledge that you have, and help groom those young men and women to be not only a public servant, but feel that they can do something, because a lot of people just want to help.
Right.
Not everybody wants to be a politician.
True.
And serve in office.
That's so true.
Yeah, some people just like to say, you know what, I see a problem and I want to help do something about at least that problem.
Right.
Can I help, and can I work with you in your office to do those things? So I think that's something I will definitely always, I will never leave from that as a commitment that I need an army.
Right.
I need a community in order to do what I'm trying to do.
Correct.
And I hope other politicians will not feel like, you know, if I groom them, they could take my job. Right.
Right.
You know, forget that. I mean, we really got to get away from this feeling of, fear or even selfishness. Right.
Right.
Because, you know, the way I was brought up and the way I was taught, you know, that person behind you, you groom them so you can move to another level.
Right.
You help them get to where you at so you can move to another level.
Is it the crabs in the bucket mentality?
With everybody clawing to get to the top, right? Pulling everybody down.
I can. I'm going to use everybody I can to get to where I need to be.
And nobody else.
Them.
Yeah. So
there's room for everybody.
And it's not just exactly. You know what? You hit it on the nose.
Yes.
We have so much to do and so much to accomplish.
Yes, and one person can't do it, right?
Like you said. You can't do it. So we got to share in it. I really want to see. You know, I came up with a little phrase, a term. It was partnership for progress.
I like that.
And that was all about, you know, when I talked a little bit about small businesses and banking in our community and the access to banking for housing or banking for your small business. When I talked about that, listen, partnership for progress. I need to partner with the existing small business owners, partner with the existing banks. We need to come up with solutions together to solve these problems. So if we can use all those people who desire to do just a little bit, just a couple hours a week
of your time,
and I'm talking from seniors to veterans to small business owners to the teachers to the police officers, we can make some advancements. Let me hit on one last thing. Here's another thing that we got to address. The average teacher, first of all, let me give kudos to Crystal Dillard, who also ran for this office.
Yes, she did.
Crystal is also a teacher.
Oh, really?
That's right.
Okay.
Crystal is a teacher. Actually, I plan to go meet up with Crystal tonight.
Awesome.
We actually had a talk, and
awesome.
and we're gonna visit tonight. And but let me give it to Crystal as a teacher. When I found and realized the kind of money it takes to be competitive in this, I got to give it to Crystal and her creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing from my discussion with her anyway, you know, she still had to go to class every day and teach students every day. And then hustle in the morning before school and hustle in the evening after work and still put out a message.
Yes.
I respect her hustle.
Yes. Way to go, Crystal.
Right. I respect her creativity.
Yeah.
And she and I talked just a little bit when this started because we knew we were, you know, kind of at the bottom of the barrel trying to rise up and make this happen. And we wished each other the best.
Right.
And, you know, when it came down to it, it was, you know, we both did our best.
Right.
And I'm looking forward to Crystal being effective in our community in one way or another still. And as I told her, she congratulated me. We talked, and she congratulated me on what I was able to achieve, encouraging me to continue. And I'm encouraging her.
That's great.
There's a lot to still be done.
Right.
But the amount of money that it takes to do what we did, when you don't have the support of this political structure that we have, you got to be more. You got to be creative, like Crystal was, like I was. I had some backing of some business partners that I've been in business with that helped me. I had to take a lot of it out of my pocket, a lot more than I anticipated.
Yes, sir.
But all of a sudden, you know, as we got some momentum, donations started coming in, family started giving, friends started giving, alumni, classmates started giving. So we found the momentum, and I got to go back to them, thank them, and I got to ask them, let's do it again.
Yes.
And let's do it better.
Yes.
And like I said, there's a system that exists, and I would say to anyone, recognize that you gotta work within that system in order to get an opportunity to get in order to make things better.
Correct. Yes.
That's just the reality of it, I believe.
Yeah, and that's true.
But still, be yourself. Let your platform be your platform.
Right.
And I hope everyone who looks to do good things for our community gets an opportunity to serve in a position where they can do it, because we need them. We need them.
We definitely do.
We need them.
Next election is 2024. When is the next? When is?
Well, for a state representative anyway, that's correct. And so I guess it'll be January 2024. When we will be on the ticket again. But I anticipate it'll probably be January 2023 when James Guillory will begin running again.
Yes,
and campaigning again.
Yes, you got to follow your own advice and start early.
For sure,
right?
For sure. And I'm looking forward to it. I enjoy what we did. I enjoyed talking to the people. You know, some of the stories you hear, and some of the stuff they share with you. I mean, some stuff is heartbreaking. You know,
I'm sure.
some stuff you really, you know, you just want to say, boy, what can I do in that position to influence that?
Right.
Because that's not what a state representative does. And just I got to the point where I said, you know what, as a state representative, I can at least have some access that I can hopefully reach out along with them and help them to the right person if they're not getting the door open for this, that, and the other. Right. And you know, one thing I like so much too is the young people that I came across.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many young teenagers that are in junior high school, even some in elementary. I had a young man. Actually, his mother worked at our phone banking center.
Okay.
And man, this young guy just took my heart away. Actually, him and there's another young lady too that came over. But he came to me and he said, "Mr. Guillory, I hope you win. I want to work for you." Yeah, you got to be probably no more than probably about in fifth grade, maybe. Looks like in fourth or fifth grade.
Oh, that's so
nice. He came over, shook my hand a couple of times. He said, "Mr. Guillory, I want to work for you."
Wow, that's nice.
And I said, I just told him, I said, I look forward to you all working for me and helping me. And listen, I'm serious about what I said. Going into the schools, helping improve our education, working with our school board. I'm not going to stop that stuff. There's a lot to be done, and I think there's still things I can do even without the title of state representative.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
Now that you mentioned it,
Yeah.
what are your plans, or do you have any intentions or initiatives that you want to work on between now and then? I mean, I know you're very passionate about everything and all your points, and I know you are. So I know it's going to be hard for you to just sit back and just wait until it's time to start preparing again. So, do you have any plans to do anything toward those goals in the meantime?
I tell you what, one of the big things that's coming down the pipeline is that infrastructure money, that $35 billion that's coming to Texas. That we may see $6 or $7 billion here. It's coming.
Okay.
It is coming.
Okay.
So the thing is how are we going to make sure we're watching where those dollars go to in our community and our city? Right. And that can be still, Alma Allen will most. I'm pretty certain she will be the in the general election the winner and be our state representative, District 131. So when that happens, I will still be there to say, you are my state representative. I'm here to work with you, and state representative from right above us is 146, next to us 147. If I just kind of take that circle that really surrounds the communities that affect those school districts I talked about, or those schools I talked about, working with them to say, these things need to be addressed. Now, it's up to them how they want to take what I bring to them. Right. But I'm hoping we can respectfully work with one another to accomplish this for the community.
Yes.
Now, they are the state representatives. Let them stand out front. Let them do what they do. Yeah. But at the end of the day, to see the jobs come to this community, to see those young people prepared to have those jobs, to have the education and the skill set to get those jobs, to make sure that the banks that have said they were committing $35 billion around the United States, like Chase Bank, I think it was $30 billion around the United States to fund affordable housing and small business startups in the Black and brown community. I'm continuously going to make sure I work with them and watch to make sure that money comes to our community. And not only that, are the young men and women prepared to put it to work? Or do they know what they need to do to deal with their bank? Is the bank being fair with it?
That's critically important.
So there's so many things I know I can still put my hand on, keep an eye on, try to speak with those professionals in the banking industry that's going to be dispersing this money to our state, that's going to be deciding where we're going to be building distribution and manufacturing plants to encourage them. Hey, I have a community here of 200,000. And boy, listen, they are doing fantastic in high school. They're doing fantastic in junior college, community college rather. Right. We really want to make sure they're placed into these jobs and opportunities. I will be advocating for that.
That's critically important.
Yeah, I will be doing that.
Yes. I have a question here that says, what are your plans for yourself right now? And would you consider running in a different district? Does it have to be District 131? Is what the question is. Well,
first of all, as long as my residence is where it's at, I guess the district lines that have been drawn by our state legislator and approved by our governor, as long as those lines exist and my home is where it's at, I'm in District 131.
Okay.
So I can't go run unless I move my home in another district.
Right.
And I don't want to do that, and I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
My heart is in District 131.
Okay.
I was born and raised there. I still live there. I've seen us do some really nice things in our community, and I see where we can do a lot better.
Okay.
So I'm not going anywhere.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm not.
For those of you that didn't know, and some people may not know, you have to run for office in the district in which you live.
Right, for a state representative seat. Now there are other positions that are countywide and citywide and things of that nature. Even city council members still have their boundary lines, which is different from actually the exact boundary lines of a state representative. So you got to go do your homework. Look at all the different positions that are available and find out what those requirements are. Yeah. But for James Guillory, I'm in District 131, and I'm here to work for District 131. Whoever the state representative is, or whatever those other positions that exist there. I'm here to work with those people who the citizens have chosen, who are in the power, who are in the position of power that can have the influence to improve the community.
Okay, awesome. So you guys have your answer in that one. And the other part to that question was, what are your plans for yourself right now? They said, going on vacation, are you going to dive deeper into work? Are you going to refocus? And then they said, ha, 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 or is he going to demand a recount?
You know what? If you ask my wife now, my wife might tell you, we're gonna do a recount.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. But no, not at all. Not at all. I didn't. I didn't see anything for myself that made me feel like things weren't on the up and up, and we didn't have the proper election system or equipment or all that stuff. I didn't see anything like that. So none of that. But once again, definitely take a little time off. You need to break out. Anybody, I think even the ones that won need a break. Okay,
yes, for sure.
Okay, so definitely take some time off. Listen, I have bless God, for the last 22 years.
Yes, sir.
I've been running a company that so thankful. My daughter's a major part of that as well.
Great,
and
great.
I have more children that desire to be a part of it. And if they don't, so be it. But I have a great business that I built from scratch with my family. I love it to death. So, I'm still a hotel developer and owner. I'm still a multi-family developer and owner. I love real estate. That's just my joy. I love finance. I like it so much. I love seeing a community come together, redevelop, re-energize with a variety of shopping and retail and hotel and churches and restaurants. That stuff just lights me up inside. That just lights me up inside. So I'm gonna keep doing that. That is where my passion lies.
That's amazing.
So we're gonna keep, and we never stopped even during this campaign.
I was just
definitely. You know what? I was just blessed to have a team of people in my company and partners that said, James, go do it. We got this. So I could get on a call at 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. and not have to check back in till 4 or 5 and go campaign and do my work early in the morning, night, weekends, just because they were there to cover for me. And not everybody has that.
That's true.
That teacher, that police officer, that nurse, they don't have that. So that goes back to saying we need a system that is fair to each and every person who wants the opportunity. That's what I want to see.
Very important.
I say even James, who had the opportunity to have a partner or somebody to fill in for them, Crystal didn't have that. Other people didn't have it. I want to make sure this system allows everybody an even playing field, because if we don't have the variety of professionals in office, from police officers and nurses and entertainment moguls like yourself, if we don't have the variety of expertise and experiences at that level of making decisions, then we're really we're not giving our community the full opportunity to see the creativity that could come out of our entire state and community. And I think everybody has a passion, and I pray they do, has a passion for helping in some form or fashion. I want them to have that chance to help whatever they choose. And they're going to have more and more young men and women like I saw come up to me, come up to them. They're watching us.
They are.
They're looking at us.
They are.
They really aspire to find someone that they can look up to, whether it's mom, dad, or someone else, or plus mom and dad. Right. So we need to be that better example.
Yes, we do.
And they need to be able to see us. And once again, nothing against the long-time incumbents. I thank them for their service, if they're there doing the right thing for their community. But I do believe opportunity should be given so others can have an opportunity to give their creativity and ideas.
Their ideas and their energy.
And their energy. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. You got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them sometimes. Incumbents.
Yeah, well, I said, hey, I look for, as an incumbent, that they out there, they get in, do as much as they possibly can do.
Right.
But look to move up, move over, or move out.
Move out.
Okay? And I hold myself to that. Because I know, I pray there's a young woman, young man that's looking over my shoulders to say, I'd like to be there one day.
Right.
And I want to see them do it.
Yes.
I want to see them do it for sure.
To retire. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Final question is millennials, the youth, the ones that are old enough to vote, up to the age of the ones that normally always come out.
Yeah.
How can we reach the 18 and how
18
and up,
yeah,
right?
18 and up.
So
actually 17 if you're going to be 18 by the time it's time to vote.
How can we embrace, attract, captivate, intrigue, encourage them to come out to the polls? Is it going to the schools more, doing something that they like, something that they're attracted to or interested in, going to the colleges, going to the community colleges, universities? What should be the plan of attack? And I know that's probably something that you want to focus on as well.
Right.
The next time you run, correct? So,
yeah.
What can you do differently to reach that age group?
I got to be honest in saying that was really the age group I was hoping to reach at this time, and I don't believe we did a good job of it. Let's say we wanted to make sure, every time I could speak like at a church or an event, I'd make sure I'd go up to those young people. And you can see sometimes they may not be 18, but I would ask them, I say, you 18? I want to know. I say, are you 17? I encourage them, please register to vote. Yeah. I said, please vote. I said, listen, you may not know it now, but someone is making a decision that's going to affect your life, your pocketbook, the way you live, the cost of living, the cost of that first car, all those things, the cost of college. And I realize that some of these things may not be as important to them, especially when you got maybe mom or dad or some cushion or somebody else taking care of some things.
Yes.
But even when you get to the 25 and 35 years old, the voting block, 60 years and younger, 50 years and younger, it is literally so small. Yes. And I want to say the voting block isn't small. The ones who actually get out, the turnout is so small. So I don't have an answer on how to. I believe we attempted to. We tried to keep some energy coming on this show, going on other shows and going to events where those young people were at to make sure that I was able to say hello, introduce myself. I was hoping that would energize, and many, I had people come up to me all the time, a few here, a few there, and we talk a little more. Yeah. But we got to find a way to better engage. We got to find a way to make people care.
Right.
I think that's what it's going to come down to. How can I get a 25-year-old and a 30-year-old to care about who is holding political office in their community
and how it directly impacts them?
Right. And I'm not going to sit up here and try to guess and pull my hair out. I'm going to go ask them.
Exactly.
I'm going to continue asking and try to find out what will it take.
Right.
What will it take to get you engaged and for this to be important to you? I want to see that.
Very important.
Listen, if you look at the numbers, for the number of people that are in my district that are of age to vote, less than 8% came out to vote. Less than 8%.
Very small number.
Very small. 8% of the eligible voters in my district came out to vote. If you look at the number of voters that came out and voted for governor, I even went to governor, that's statewide. We have close to 30 million people.
Yeah.
If you take that 30 million and said 20 million were of age to vote. Of those 20 million, you had maybe 1 million votes for Greg Abbott, 1 million votes for Beto. Probably down the ticket, maybe you had 2 million total. Down both of those tickets. It's 10%. 10% of the eligible voters, even as a governor. And listen, when we watch them on TV, when we watch the things that are going on in our neighborhood that we said we shake our head at.
Yeah.
And we just want to put our head down about it. You know, I want you to remember, you know, not to say that every politician is going to solve the problem, but I will say your vote, when you don't vote, you help elect potentially that person who is not so much ready to do what you need or you feel needs to be done for your community. So, you know, I'm not gonna beat that horse to death. I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna keep asking questions. I'm gonna keep encouraging, and I'm a believer that we're gonna find enough people that will engage with us, work with us, get us elected, so we can do some good, and we can keep doing the same thing, and that is get people engaged and get them involved. Yeah, which is what we need. Yeah, it's what we need. So you got a little bit of time to start working on that. So after this vacation you're about to take, you should probably start thinking about that. How are we gonna captivate that younger audience? Yeah. What do they want to hear? What does it take to reel them in and to get them out to the polls? Certainly. I think that's going to fill a big void, a big gap in where we are today with our voting. Yeah. So. You know, along with some vacation to make sure I can now start eating right again, so no more get off this fast food and lose that 15 or 20 that I like to lose now. Yeah, so anyway, just spread it out, take your time. You know what? And I say this to everybody is our health. You know, we have to. Our health is our foundation. It is. For anything and everything that we want to try to do. Mental health, physical health. You know, we as a community, a black and brown community. Yeah. You know, the diseases that take place within our lineage, within our family, within our culture. Our culture. You know, we have to recognize those things exist. Right. And we have to say to ourselves and to our family members that we got to do better. We have to. Because, you know, I really want to see us not only survive, I want to see our community thrive. Yes. I want to see us thrive. So I don't want to just talk some positive stuff. You know, let's partner for progress so that we see the positive stuff. Yeah. I like that, partner for progress. Right. I like that. You've mentioned that a couple times. I think it's catchy and it's to the point. Yeah. Because there's things that definitely need to be done. Simple. Yeah, from a political perspective, business perspective, as well as personal for ourselves. 100%. Yeah. 100%. So, okay, you guys, we're at the end of our segment. I want to thank you so very much. You did a great job. You were diligent. You were passionate. You were resilient. You were persistent. You were constant. All of that. So we're looking forward to the next time you run. Yes. And Godspeed. And I want to say again that today's episode was sponsored by Brown Brooks Media, you guys. So if you need any creative directing or producing for your professional videos, or if you're looking to launch a reality TV show, we have directors, videographers, producers readily available to help you get those projects off the ground and take them to the next level. So thanks again, Brown Brooks Media. Send me a DM if you need information on Brown Brooks Media, and we'll definitely take care of you guys, okay? So thank you so very much. This season we had 12 episodes. Normally it's 10 for each season. But this season, we were just kind of on a roll. James Guillory came in, and we adopted the election segments. And I also have a couple of more episodes that people have been asking for. So I'm going to go probably an additional 2 episodes for season 2. So you guys stay tuned for that. We've got a lot of interesting topics coming. And we will definitely see you guys next week. I'll probably roll back to my Thursday shows, you guys. So I'll send out information on that, and I'll probably get back to my Thursdays. Okay? So thank you so very much, Boss Fam. Love you guys very much. And thanks again for joining Real Talk Houston Studios. And I am Carlotta B.